Life in the modern world is full of opportunities, yet it also comes with countless pressures. Many people feel stuck, directionless, and unmotivated. They long for change, but don't know where to begin. They have tried various methods, but the results often fall short of their expectations. Why does this happen? Because change is not an instant event, but a journey. It requires the right mindset, consistent actions, and relentless perseverance. Successful people are not necessarily luckier than others. They are simply those who take full responsibility for their lives and persist in pursuing their goals. Jim Rohn, one of the greatest personal development mentors, has helped millions of people transform their thinking and their lives. He believed that real change does not come from external circumstances, but begins within each individual. His principles are not just theoretical concepts. They serve as a guide for anyone who genuinely wants to improve their life. This story is about a journey from failure to success, from stagnation to freedom, from fear to confidence. It is not a tale of miracles, but a practical roadmap that anyone can follow if they are truly ready to change. The protagonist of this story is an ordinary person, just like anyone reading these words. He once had dreams, once believed he could achieve great things. But life slowly pulled him into the routine of responsibilities, work, financial struggles, and endless worries. The burden of everyday life gradually overshadowed his ambitions, leaving him feeling trapped in a cycle of mediocrity. One day, an unexpected event forces him to confront his reality. A failure, a loss, or a painful realization makes him see that if he does not take action now, nothing will ever change. This moment becomes the turning point that sets him on the path to transformation. And so his journey begins, not with grand, immediate success, but with a commitment to change step by step. The weight of stagnation is often invisible until it becomes unbearable. For years, the protagonist of our story had accepted his circumstances, convincing himself that this was simply how life was meant to be. He followed the same routine every day, waking up tired, going to a job that no longer excited him, coming home exhausted, and numbing his dissatisfaction with distractions. Somewhere along the way, he had lost sight of the ambitions he once held. But change rarely happens in comfort. It takes a moment of clarity, a disruption, or even a crisis to shake a person out of complacency. For him, that moment came unexpectedly. Perhaps it was the sudden loss of a job, a financial setback, or a health scare. Maybe it was a conversation that made him realize how little progress he had made in the past few years. Or perhaps it was seeing someone else, someone who had started from a similar position, achieve the kind of success he had once dreamed of. Whatever the trigger was, it became impossible to ignore. For the first time in a long while, he looked at himself in the mirror and saw not just his reflection, but the weight of missed opportunities. He saw the years slipping away, and he realized that unless he changed, his future would be nothing more than an extended version of his past. The common pitfalls that hold people back. As he began to reflect on his life, he recognized patterns, habits, and mindsets that had kept him stuck for so long. These were the same traps that countless others fell into, keeping them from reaching their full potential. 1. The blame mentality. He had always found external reasons for his situation, his upbringing, the economy, his boss, bad luck. But the truth was, as Jim Rohn often said, if you don't like how things are, change them. You're not a tree. The harsh reality hit him. Blaming others did not change anything. If he wanted a different life, the responsibility was his alone. 2. Procrastination and the illusion of someday. He often told himself, I'll start next month, or when I have more time, I'll focus on my goals. But the perfect time never arrived. Every day that passed was another day lost to delay. He realized that waiting for motivation was a trap. Successful people did not wait for the right mood to take action. They took action, and momentum created motivation. 3. Lack of clear goals. Without a destination, even the best efforts lead nowhere. He had spent years drifting, reacting to life instead of designing it. He needed not just a dream, but a concrete, measurable goal with a clear plan. 4. Comfort zone addiction. Growth requires discomfort. He had stayed in the same routine because it was familiar, even if it was unfulfilling. But as Jim Rohn said, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. It was time to get uncomfortable and take control of his life. The turning point, making the decision. Realizing his mistakes was one thing. Doing something about them was another. He knew that unless he made a decision to change, nothing would be different. One evening, he sat down and wrote a question at the top of a blank page. What do I want my life to look like in 5 years? For the first time in a long while, he allowed himself to dream. He imagined financial freedom, waking up excited about his work, having strong and meaningful relationships, being in the best shape of his life. He wrote down every detail. Then, below that, he asked himself another question. If I keep doing exactly what I'm doing now, where will I be in 5 years? The contrast was striking. The future he wanted was only possible if he made changes now. He could either continue making excuses, or he could take control of his destiny. And so, he made a promise to himself. No more waiting. No more excuses. Starting now, he would commit to change, not with drastic overnight transformations, but with small, deliberate steps every day. This decision marked the real beginning of his journey. The next step was to understand how to change and to apply the principles that would lead to a transformed life. This section builds upon the introduction by deepening the protagonist's realization of why he needs to change. It establishes his internal struggles, the common mental barriers that keep people stuck, and his defining moment of decision. The next section will focus on the principles of change, how he begins applying new habits and a success-driven mindset. Would you like me to adjust anything before continuing? Making the decision to change was only the first step. Now, the protagonist faced a new challenge: how to turn that decision into action. He had spent years stuck in the same patterns, and breaking free from them required a new way of thinking and living. But where should he start? He turned to the wisdom of those who had walked this path before him. One of the most profound lessons he discovered came from Jim Rohn. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines, practiced every day. Failure is simply a few errors in judgment, repeated every day. The realization was powerful. Life wasn't about dramatic, overnight transformations. It was about small, consistent actions that, over time, created massive results. 1. Rewiring the mindset for success. The first thing he had to change was his thinking. For years, he had allowed negativity, doubt, and fear to control his actions. If he wanted a different life, he needed to train his mind to think differently. 1. Replacing negative beliefs. He had always thought, I'm not lucky, or success is for other people, not me. But the truth was, success was not about luck. It was about cause and effect. People who achieved great things weren't just born lucky. They followed specific principles and worked for it. He began challenging every negative belief he held. Every time his mind told him, you can't do this, he asked, why not? Instead of focusing on limitations, he trained himself to see possibilities. 2. Visualizing success daily. Every morning, he spent 5 minutes visualizing his ideal future, the person he wanted to become, the achievements he wanted to experience, and the kind of life he wanted to create. This practice helped rewire his brain to believe that change was possible. 3. Surrounding himself with the right people. Jim Rohn's famous quote, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with," made him rethink his relationships. He started to distance himself from those who were negative or complacent and sought out mentors, books, and communities that inspired growth. 2. Investing in personal growth. The next step was self-education. If he wanted to improve his life, he needed to improve himself first. 1. Reading books that transformed thinking. He started with books by Jim Rohn, Napoleon Hill, and other great thinkers in personal development. Reading became a daily habit, just 20 pages a day. Over time, these books reshaped his understanding of success, discipline, and personal responsibility. 2. Learning new skills. He identified key skills that would increase his value in his career and finances. Whether it was communication, leadership, or financial literacy, he committed to learning something new every day. 3. Developing mental and physical discipline. Success wasn't just about knowledge, it was about discipline. He adopted routines that strengthened his body and mind, waking up early, exercising regularly, and practicing mindfulness to develop focus and clarity. 3. The power of setting goals. Up until this point, he had lived reactively, drifting through life without clear direction. Now, he needed goals to guide his actions. 1. Setting smart goals. He learned that vague desires like, "I want to be successful" weren't enough. Goals had to be specific, clearly defined objectives, e.g., "I will earn an extra $10,000 this year through side income." Measurable, trackable progress, e.g., saving $500 per month. Achievable, ambitious but realistic. Relevant, aligned with his vision. Time-bound, having deadlines to maintain urgency. 2. Breaking goals into daily actions. He realized that long-term goals only became reality through small, daily actions. Instead of being overwhelmed by a huge goal, he focused on what he could do today. 3. Tracking progress and adjusting course. Every week, he reviewed his progress. If he wasn't seeing results, he didn't see it as failure. He saw it as feedback. He adjusted his approach until he found what worked. 4. Overcoming the fear of failure. Fear had kept him stuck for years. Fear of rejection, of embarrassment, of not being good enough. But he learned an important truth. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the journey to success. 1. Reframing failure as learning. Instead of seeing setbacks as proof that he wasn't good enough, he started viewing them as opportunities to learn. If something didn't work, he analyzed what went wrong and adjusted his approach. 2. Embracing discomfort. Growth happens outside the comfort zone. He deliberately put himself in situations that scared him, public speaking, networking, starting new projects, because he knew that pushing through discomfort was how he would grow. 3. Building resilience through small wins. To build confidence, he started celebrating small victories, waking up earlier, finishing a book, making a new connection. Each success reinforced the belief that he was capable of more. 5. Time management and productivity. Success wasn't just about working harder, it was about working smarter. He learned to manage his time effectively. 1. Prioritizing the most important tasks. He identified the 20% of activities that would produce 80% of his results. Pareto principle. Instead of being busy with unimportant tasks, he focused on high-impact activities. 2. Avoiding distractions and procrastination. He created a distraction-free environment, turning off notifications, setting specific work hours, and using techniques like the Pomodoro method to maintain focus. 3. Starting the day with discipline. He implemented the Eat the Frog method, tackling the hardest, most important task first thing in the morning. This built momentum for the rest of the day. The shift begins. As weeks passed, the changes became noticeable. He felt more energized, more in control, and more optimistic about his future. His mind was sharper, his productivity increased, and most importantly, he believed in himself again. For the first time in years, he felt alive, not just existing, but truly living. But this was just the beginning. The real challenge was ahead, maintaining this momentum, overcoming inevitable obstacles, and turning these new habits into a lifelong transformation. The next step in his journey would test his resilience like never before. This section continues the protagonist's journey logically, showing how he applies the principles of change to his life. It connects smoothly with the previous part and sets up the next section, where he will face real challenges and setbacks. Change is never a straight path. It is a journey filled with unexpected obstacles, moments of self-doubt, and the constant temptation to fall back into old habits. For the protagonist, the initial excitement of transformation began to fade as the reality of hard work set in. At first, everything seemed to be going well. He had created a routine, set clear goals, and was making progress. But then, as with any major life change, the first real challenges appeared. 1. The first roadblocks. A few weeks into his transformation, he began to notice the cracks forming in his discipline. Some mornings, he struggled to wake up early. Some days, his motivation wavered, and old habits crept back in. He found himself procrastinating on important tasks, making excuses, and questioning whether all this effort was even worth it. This was the first big test. He had seen this pattern before, starting strong, then slowly losing momentum until he gave up entirely. But this time had to be different. 1. Recognizing the plateau effect. Progress had been exciting at first, but now, the results were not as noticeable. His energy was still better than before, but it was not doubling every day. His skills were improving, but he still felt like a beginner. This was the plateau effect, the period when progress slows down and many people quit. He reminded himself of Jim Rohn's words. Discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons. If he quit now, he would regret it. If he pushed through, he would break past the plateau and reach a new level of growth. 2. Falling back into old habits. One night, after a long and stressful day, he gave in to old habits, wasting hours on social media, skipping his evening reading, and going to bed late. The next morning, he felt guilty. Had he ruined all his progress? But this time, instead of letting one bad day turn into a bad week, he forgave himself and got back on track. He realized that the key to lasting change was not perfection, but consistency. One mistake didn't define him. His ability to recover from it did. 3. External pressures and negative influences. Not everyone supported his transformation. Some friends mocked his new habits, telling him he was changing too much. Family members questioned whether he was wasting his time. Some colleagues at work dismissed his efforts, saying, "People like us don't become successful." He faced a choice: listen to the doubters, or stay committed to his vision. He reminded himself of another lesson. Don't take advice from people who are not where you want to be. He limited his exposure to negativity and surrounded himself with people who supported his growth. 2. Strategies to maintain momentum. Realizing that discipline alone was not enough, he began applying strategies to ensure he stayed on track. 1. The 2-minute rule for procrastination. Instead of forcing himself to commit to an overwhelming task, he used a simple trick. Just do it for 2 minutes. If he didn't feel like exercising, he told himself to just put on his shoes and stretch for 2 minutes. If he didn't feel like reading, he told himself to just read the first paragraph. More often than not, once he started, he kept going. 2. Tracking progress and micro wins. He started keeping a journal to track his progress. Every small win, waking up on time, finishing a book, completing a workout, was recorded. Seeing his achievements in writing gave him motivation on the tough days. 3. Adopting the never miss twice rule. He accepted that setbacks would happen, but he made a rule for himself. If he missed a workout or a reading session, he would not miss it 2 days in a row. This simple principle kept him from falling into the trap of long-term failure. 3. The importance of resilience. No journey is without setbacks, and the protagonist faced a major one. 1 month into his transformation, a major unexpected challenge hit, maybe a personal crisis, a financial setback, or a work failure. It felt like a crushing blow, and for a moment, he thought about quitting. But then, he remembered a lesson from one of Jim Rohn's teachings. Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" he asked, "How can I grow from this?" 1. Reframing challenges as growth opportunities. He looked at every setback as a lesson. If he lost money in an investment, it was a lesson in financial strategy. If he failed in a project, it was a lesson in perseverance. 2. Building mental toughness. He learned that success wasn't about avoiding challenges, but about developing the resilience to keep going despite them. Every difficulty he faced was shaping him into a stronger version of himself. 4. Breaking through the resistance. As the weeks turned into months, something changed. 1. Discipline became a habit. Waking up early, reading, exercising, working on his goals, it no longer felt forced. It became who he was. He realized that success was not about occasional effort, but about daily habits. 2. Confidence replaced self-doubt. He had always doubted himself, but now he had proof that he was capable of growth. Every small victory added to his confidence, and for the first time in years, he truly believed in his potential. 3. Momentum took over. What once felt difficult now felt natural. His new habits weren't just routines, they were part of his identity. He no longer had to force himself to be disciplined. He was simply living the life of someone committed to success. 5. Preparing for the next level. By now, he had made real progress. But he also knew that true success was not just about personal growth. It was about sustained transformation and contribution. He asked himself, how can I continue growing? How can I help others do the same? What is my next big challenge? He realized that the journey never truly ends. There is always another level to reach, another lesson to learn, and another way to contribute to the world. His story was no longer just about personal change. It was about creating an impact beyond himself. And so, he prepared for the next phase of his journey, knowing that the real reward of success was not just what he achieved, but who he had become in the process. This section builds on the previous part by exploring real challenges and strategies for overcoming them. It transitions naturally into the next section, which will focus on sustained success, contribution, and long-term transformation. The journey of change is not about reaching a single moment of success. It is about creating a sustainable transformation, one that continues to grow and evolve over time. The protagonist, having faced and overcome his initial challenges, now found himself in a new phase of his journey. He was no longer struggling to maintain discipline. His new habits had become part of his identity. The doubts that once held him back were now replaced by confidence. But this was not the end. He understood that growth was a lifelong process. Success was not something to be achieved and then abandoned. It had to be nurtured, expanded, and shared. 1. Achieving the first major milestones. With consistent effort and perseverance, the protagonist began seeing tangible results. 1. Financial stability and career growth. By applying principles of self-discipline and continuous learning, he improved his skills and performance at work. He sought out new opportunities, negotiated better positions, or even started a side business to create additional income. His financial situation, once a source of constant stress, was now under control. He had savings, a plan for the future, and financial security that gave him confidence. 2. Physical and mental well-being. His commitment to exercise and a healthy lifestyle had transformed his body and energy levels. He no longer relied on caffeine or distractions to get through the day. His mind and body worked in harmony to support his goals. The mental fog, anxiety, and self-doubt that once plagued him had diminished significantly. 3. Meaningful relationships and stronger connections. As he grew, his relationships also improved. He attracted like-minded individuals who supported and inspired him. He learned to let go of toxic relationships that drained his energy and held him back. He became a person that others respected and admired, not just because of his success, but because of his personal growth. Each of these achievements was a milestone, proof that change was not only possible, but within his control. 2. Avoiding complacency, the danger of comfort. One of the greatest threats to long-term success is complacency. Many people, after reaching a certain level of achievement, begin to relax and slowly fall back into old habits. The protagonist was aware of this danger and made a commitment to never stop growing. 1. Setting new goals to keep moving forward. After reaching his first set of goals, he immediately set new ones. He asked himself, what's the next challenge? What's the next level I want to reach? By always aiming for something higher, he ensured that he never stopped improving. 2. Maintaining the growth mindset. He embraced the idea that learning never stops. He continued reading, taking courses, and surrounding himself with people who challenged him to be better. He saw every setback not as a failure, but as an opportunity to adapt and improve. 3. Developing self-awareness to prevent regression. He monitored his habits closely. If he noticed himself slipping, he corrected course immediately. He reflected on his progress weekly, ensuring that he stayed aligned with his long-term vision. He remained accountable by tracking his actions and outcomes, making sure he stayed on the path of continuous growth. 3. The power of contribution, giving back. At a certain point in his journey, the protagonist realized something profound. True success is not just about personal achievement, it is about impact. As he grew, he felt a responsibility to help others who were struggling, just as he once had. 1. Becoming a mentor and inspiring others. He started sharing his experiences, guiding friends, colleagues, or even strangers who wanted to change their lives. He understood that teaching was also learning, and by helping others, he solidified his own growth. His words and actions inspired those around him to believe in their own potential. 2. Creating value beyond himself. Whether through coaching, writing, speaking, or simply leading by example, he found ways to contribute to the world. He realized that wealth and success were not just about accumulation, but about using them for a greater purpose. His focus shifted from just personal success to creating a legacy, something that would continue to make an impact long after him. 3. The ripple effect of change. By improving himself, he indirectly influenced his family, friends, and community. His transformation showed others that change was possible, inspiring them to take action in their own lives. Oh, what started as a personal journey had now become a movement of growth and inspiration. 4. Sustaining success, making transformation permanent. Success is never guaranteed, and he knew that if he was not careful, he could still fall back into old habits. To ensure that his transformation was permanent, he built systems to maintain his progress. 1. Consistent daily habits. Oh, he maintained the routines that had led him to success, waking up early, reading, exercising, and working on his goals daily. Oh, he understood that small daily actions were the foundation of lasting change. 2. Surrounding himself with high achievers. Oh, he continued to seek out mentors and successful individuals who challenged him to grow. Oh, he avoided negative environments and people who could pull him back into mediocrity. 3. Staying humble and open to learning. Oh, he never let success make him arrogant. He knew that there was always more to learn. Oh, he kept a student mindset, always looking for ways to improve. 5. The final realization: success is a lifelong journey. Looking back, he realized something important. The struggles and failures he had faced were not obstacles, they were the path. The hardships and challenges had shaped him into the person he was meant to become. He no longer feared failure because he understood that growth only happens when you step outside your comfort zone. Most importantly, he now loved the process. Success was no longer just a destination. It was the way he lived his life. Every day was an opportunity to grow, to contribute, and to push his limits. He had finally become the person he had always dreamed of being. And yet, he knew that this was only the beginning. Conclusion: the invitation to the reader. Now, the question is, what about you? Where are you in your journey? What's holding you back from becoming the person you were meant to be? What small action can you take today to start your transformation? Because, in the end, success is not about waiting for the perfect moment. Success is about deciding, right now, that you are ready to change, and then committing to that decision every single day. Your future is in your hands. So, will you take the first step? This section brings the story full circle, showing the protagonist's victory, sustained growth, and ultimate transformation. It logically follows the previous section while preparing the reader for their own journey. Would you like any refinements before I proceed to the final part? The journey of transformation is never truly over. The protagonist, having reached a level of success, knew that this was not the final destination. It was only the beginning of a new phase of growth. As he reflected on his past, he realized that the greatest lesson he had learned was not about wealth, health, or career. It was about self-mastery, the ability to take control of his mind, his actions, and ultimately, his destiny. This final section explores the key lessons he learned, the mindset required to sustain success, and a call to action for the reader, because transformation is not just for one person. It is for anyone who is ready to take control of their life. 1. The core lessons from his journey. Looking back, he saw a clear pattern in what had led him from a place of stagnation to a life of purpose and fulfillment. 1. Mindset is everything. Oh, every external change in his life had first started with an internal shift in the way he thought. Oh, success wasn't about circumstances or luck. It was about taking full responsibility for his choices. Oh, he learned to reframe problems as challenges, failures as lessons, and setbacks as stepping stones. 2. Small daily actions create big results. Oh, the transformation didn't happen overnight. It was the result of consistent, disciplined effort. Oh, his success was built on tiny, seemingly insignificant habits that compounded over time. Oh, he realized that the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not talent or intelligence. It is the ability to do the small, necessary things every single day. 3. The power of association. Oh, his environment had a direct impact on his growth. Oh, surrounding himself with ambitious, driven people elevated his mindset and kept him motivated. Oh, he learned to distance himself from negativity and seek out mentors, role models, and like-minded individuals. 4. Discipline over motivation. Oh, he stopped relying on temporary bursts of motivation and instead built systems of discipline. Oh, even on days when he didn't feel like working, he showed up and did the work anyway. Oh, he realized that greatness is built in the moments when no one is watching, in the effort that is unseen and uncelebrated. 5. Giving back is the highest level of success. Oh, the greatest fulfillment didn't come from personal achievements. It came from helping others transform their lives. Oh, by sharing his journey, He inspired others to start their own. Oh, he understood that true legacy is not what you achieve for yourself, but what you pass on to others. 2. The ultimate truth about success. As he continued to grow, one realization became clear. There is no final destination in success. Success is not a place you arrive at. It is a way of living. It is a continuous commitment to improvement, learning, and contribution. It is about waking up every day and striving to be better than yesterday. Most importantly, he learned that every person has the power to change their life, but only if they take action. 3. The call to action. Now it's your turn. The protagonist's story is not just his own. It is a universal journey that anyone can undertake. The real question is, will you? Will you continue living on autopilot, waiting for change to happen? Or will you take responsibility for your future and start taking action today? If you're ready to change your life, here's where to begin. Step 1. Decide who you want to become. Write down the vision of your ideal self, the person you want to be in 1 year, 5 years, and beyond. Be specific. What does your life look like? What skills do you have? How do you feel every day? Step 2. Identify what's holding you back. What habits, beliefs, or fears are keeping you stuck? Recognize them, challenge them, and replace them with empowering alternatives. Step 3. Take one small action today. Transformation does not require a massive leap. It starts with one small step. Choose one thing you can do right now to move in the direction of your goal. Step 4. Stay consistent no matter what. There will be obstacles, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But remember, you are stronger than you think. Your success is determined by your ability to persist when things get hard. Step 5. Surround yourself with growth-minded people. Find people who inspire, challenge, and push you to be better. Learn from those who have already achieved what you aspire to. Distance yourself from negativity and those who do not support your journey. 4. Final words. The choice is yours. At the end of the day, change is a choice. You can choose to stay where you are, doing what you've always done, getting the same results. Or you can choose to take control, to rewrite your story, and to build a life that excites and fulfills you. The question is, what will you choose? If you take nothing else from this story, remember this. You are capable of more than you believe. Your past does not define your future. Every great success story begins with a simple decision to take the first step. And the most important lesson of all, no one is coming to save you. Your future is entirely in your hands. So what will you do next? The journey is waiting. The only thing left is for you to begin.